The George Fox University women's basketball team claimed its first national championship Saturday by defeating Washington University in St. Louis at DeVos Fieldhouse. Here's post-game comments from members of both teams.
Real proud of the kids coming back. Congratulations to George Fox. And got close, so it hurts a little more so. But real proud of our team.
What was the difference that you were able to crawl back closer that maybe you weren't doing as well before? Or? We
knew where the gaps were. We really just, the timing of when to make those cuts, we kept trying to explain the quick review. They're very good at first overplay, and we just had to swing it and then attack. And we had to change a little bit where we were coming from. And once we figured it out, kids started hitting shots. I mean, every zone was better when you start knocking some stuff down, and they did.
You also had the assignment of Garden Chalet, and it did a pretty good job on her. Can you talk about defending her and what you tried to do against her? I mean, have you faced anyone 6'4" this year or that height?
Well, we played St. Benedict's at Illinois Wesleyan before, and basically we kept it after what we call 5 feet in the basket, and tried to make her score over us. So that's what I tried to do most of the first half. And then I just switched to zone for the second half and the second half. So then it was not my defensive play, it was the team's.
Coach, at least Kenzie had 13 points in the first half against you guys. She really kind of had her way a little bit. The second half, she only scored 1 point. What were you guys able to do defensively?
We played a lot against the matchup zone we saw in the second half more. We had to do some game. We felt like we were putting them on the free throw line too much in the first half, and that was she was pulling through and driving, even though we felt like we knew that. But knowing it and stopping it are two different things. And you're taking a little gamble with those guys because they shoot the ball so well. I mean, I think everybody, every time they shot a three, from watching them last night, it was going to win. So, we gambled and they missed a few outside shots, and that's when I think we made it run. But we had to do something to stay in what we were doing defensively.
First off, this was an amazing experience, let alone today's game. Hope did an outstanding job hosting this thing. It was just first class in every way. It made it feel like big time, and I guess it is in a way. But it really felt like it, and so we're very grateful for not only them, but everybody who ran the tournament. It was first class all the way. And today, playing against a program like WashU, which I've followed since I started, since we began in D3 13 years ago, when our school switched from NAI. WashU was one of the programs at that time that was right in their peak. And when we started making our first run in 2001, that was right in the heyday of WashU. And so I admire that program, and Nancy's an amazing coach. And today's game kind of went just as I thought. They competed like champions, and I was just really proud of our team for coming out and playing with the poise that they have all year. The lights obviously were a little brighter today than they have been, and you couldn't tell with the way we played for most of the game. And then the thing I was most proud of was how they competed when things started turning with 10 minutes to go about. We had a nice lead, and here comes the Bears at us, and I think our legs had left us at that time, and we were running on fumes. We're not quite as deep as WashU, and we had some people play some long minutes, and just the grit and determination that they played with is what has carried us for 32 games now. And so I thought today's game epitomized our season. I thought it was an outstanding performance by these guys, these kids, and couldn't be prouder of the group, and I'm privileged to be their coach.
Coach, last couple minutes, it gets down, I think, maybe 1 or 2, and then you seem to make a concerted effort to go into Kristen. Can you talk about, was it something sad, or were you guys getting back to something you hadn't done, or?
It was something we hadn't been seeing. It had been talked about for about 38 minutes. But that's something that we needed at the time. I mean, you could see our shots; everything was short. We were tired, and so we need to go in to our high percentage position. And I thought WashU did a great job on Kristen today, considering the fact that they're 5'11" and below until 32 comes in. But we thought that was an area that we could exploit, and I thought our kids did a great job getting her the ball where she needed it. And when you do that, usually it's 2 points.
Kristen, you had a ball got passed inside, and it seemed like you had a open layup and you passed out for 3. But then, you know, those last couple shots, they went inside you. I mean, were you just at that point after that, I'm going to the basket no matter what, or what? Take me through those last couple baskets, because that put the game away.
I actually had no clue how close it was or how little time was left when I made those shots. But they were just, I had good position and they were perfect passes, and it was easy to just go right up with them, which I've been doing all year. That one pass that I got, that I passed back out, I felt like my feet were kind of funny and I didn't want to force up a bad shot. So that's why I passed it out. But the other 2, they were perfect passes, and I just went straight up with them and went strong and finished them.